April 14th, 2023. How's it going, guys? I've got another video for you. And where are we going today? We're going down that snake hole. Didn't plan on going down the snake hole today, but we're going to be going down it. Went to the zoo. I always try to get a zoo run in if the weather's decent on Friday, so I can post some more there. And lots of things to discuss here. Now, Kansas City, there's lots of problems here in this area when it comes to drugs and other things. And we got lots of cult groups here too. We got, like I say, we got two big neo-Nazi groups, witchcraft. Witchcraft is connected into them, and it spirals out all over Kansas City area. Now, where am I going with this? Well, yeah, there's some things here. If you remember correctly, when I talked about me going downtown to a crystal shop down by Westport, and I took a tarot card class, and they have different meetup groups that go in there, from witchcraft to, there was a group that actually, a guy, he was Jewish, he taught a class on that in the religion, which was really interesting. And he was when I told you guys, that he was upset. He said that something about their religion they had lied about. And they actually went down Lake of the Ozarks to start some kind of retreat. He married this witchcraft gal. But they were good people. They weren't doing nothing bad, wrong, or anything like some of these here. But in the midst of all this, I've sat with a lot of people here in Kansas City. And there's a lot of people, it's into the witchcraft groups. You got teachers, you got doctors, you got nurses, you got lawyers, and you got a lot of city employees too. Even some at the zoo. Some of them practice Satanism. Some of them practice witchcraft. Oh, not counting the lots and lots of teachers. There's massive amounts of teachers, especially up in the Raytown area, but all over the Kansas City area. But today when I started into the zoo, there were some of their employees that was there, some gals that was there. And anyway, somebody made a remark about, as I was walking by, I said, well, I guess we're going to get felled by the news media. Wow, that tells me right there I know who they are. Well, see, I'm not with the news media. I know which ones are with the witchcraft. And I know some of the ones there at the zoo. And especially, there's even one that's always at the entrance half the time. It's got a big old staff in his hand. They're supposed to be the gatekeepers, guys. Down at Ameristar Casino, there was a union guy. A lot of them was down there from the railroad tracks. And when they got together down there at Isle of Capri, he was always there. He always had his staff with him. So if you ever see those wood staffs, a lot of times those canes ain't just canes. But in the process of all this, went on through, don't bother me a bit because I know what they are. But we're going to go a little bit further. There was a crash at Swope Park today. There was a there was a guy that was down in the Australia section talking about and dealing drugs in the Australian section. And it just blew my mind. I guess they figured because if they're, you got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little kids all over the place. I guess they figured, well, what better place to be talking shop and how much money's coming in here than being at the Kansas City Zoo. And then also when I went to leave today, at that one shelter where I said, sometimes they were dealing drugs and stuff. Now, what I find interesting is some of the park employees, there's lots of things that go on at this zoo, and they try to promote good stuff. I think the Kansas City Zoo is a great place to go. We had just a big deal this last weekend up here at Worlds of Fun I mean, for the first weekend at Worlds of Fun, oh boy, Kansas City, really doing great here, guys. But, I mean, oh my. But anyway, like I said, that shelter, there was a black guy that was working on a big truck there. Now, okay, this is the thing. Now, he might be a city employee. But, now I've seen him over there before. I've seen him, a lot of times they'll sit there and they will deal drugs. Now, over the past several months when they've been working on that other actually parking lot, they haven't been able to get in there as much. Now they've just opened that other parking lot back up again, which is also kind of weird, strange about a couple things, because when I go sometimes, it's like it's closed off. Why don't they have that opened anymore either all the time? I used to park over in that area all the time, but then I started to park over off to that other area. I don't get it, but maybe it's open now. I don't know. But the thing of this is, there was a couple of golf carts off to one side. I get to think, all the places I worked at, I worked for about a year and a half at Sears out here. In automotive, I was doing from busting tires, had a VAT 40, tested doing electrical checks on all the cars and everything. My specialty was actually engine rebuilding and troubleshooting. Almost like a service advisor. That's what I actually trained to be. But on top of that, they would have never allow us to take our vehicles in and work on our own private vehicles at the place. I worked at Precision Tune out here by Bannister for about a year and a half. We couldn't take our cars in there and work on our cars there either. Every place that I worked at, we were never allowed at any of the automotive places to take our cars in for free and work on this stuff. So if this was a city employee and on city property and he was working on his own vehicle, I mean, it just seems weird. I mean, even Worlds of Fun up there, they wouldn't let you do something like that either. But I worked up there too. I mean, some of this stuff is pretty funky, guys. But in the process, what I was going to say, they promote a lot of good stuff too. They have I don't know, it's kind of like for their employees to, keep them, their spirits up and stuff. They have like a soccer kind of like team and stuff. Now today, on top of it, when I was going out there, one of their balls went flying across the road there, on the road on top of it. But I'm going to show you guys all these school buses. I'm going to show you this truck where this black guy was working on at this shelter. And when I get down there by the lake down there in Swope Park, I'm going to show you this car that, I don't know what happened. I don't see how it jumped the wall and was hanging up on the wall. Now I get down to that Y down there and I see one Kansas City, Missouri cop come across, and I thought, well, maybe they were just driving through the park to check it out. No, they weren't. They were there for, I guess, for the crash. But this car was high centered over the wall. I'm going to show that too. But I just, getting back to this drug thing here in Kansas City. This guy, he's talking about how much shipment, how much they're dealing, from up to, said the last week said made about 15,000. Standing up there in the Australia section up there on the mulch, walking around the Mount Mulch. He's got his little, gang little hat like on. Interesting. Anyway, but the zoo is about the best place to go if you want to go someplace halfway safe. I don't know what about World's Fun. It sounds like it getting pretty bad up there. I don't know. I was thinking about what they said. I haven't got to see the latest what they implemented, but I was thinking about what they said about 15 and under. Well, the thing about this is 15 and under. Which group is actually causing these problems, or is it some of the older ones there too? I don't know. That just makes you wonder on some of this stuff. I know last year when I was up there, we always buy season passes. And there was some but it was more like, I would say 18 and above that was trying to cause stuff. And they were actually trying to get fights started with other people and stuff. I've seen this stuff going on. Now, Worlds of Fun, They got tons of cameras up there, guys, hidden all over the park. And these people are so idiots. They think that they're not being watched. They're being watched all over that park. And I was working up there, and this guy behind me was running those big mowers, those old style ones. Never got to run the John Deere that much where you stand. I mean, on the ones they let me run in maybe a few weeks. I was up there for about 10 weeks. Worked there 10 weeks. Had to run. They run their mowers out in the rain 8 hours no matter what, which is kind of crazy because I mean it does tear up the grass. I mean, I would think you'd just let people go home, call them back when it's whatever, when it's ready to be able to be mowed, but they don't. And I got like an upper respiratory infection, and I finally quit because I just thought that was just way too much on that. That's why I left. But I did it for 10 weeks. Did it out in the cold, did it out in the rain and stuff. But this guy, we'd been mowing. It was wet. It was damp. It was cutting for probably, I don't know, it was probably 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and he's basically he is behind me. He's pretty close. I mean, these are dangerous equipment because I mean they're just like almost like driving a car. They got that much power. I mean, they were up there. We were moving. This one guy even showed me how to move logs, like big, huge tree logs, by pushing them and stuff with them. So they got a lot of torque. Very dangerous. And sometimes when it's wet and everything's slippery, it's not good. So I'm going up this deal in this one area. I think it was kind of like over in the Snoopy section, and I thought the guy hit the back of my foot with the mower, because the next thing I know. Because if you lose control over those controllers, your hand basically, I mean, it's pretty much out of control. That mower's out of control. And I actually went flying through the air and landed on the other guy's mower. Now, the guy shouldn't have been ever that close back behind me. Okay? But I thought he hit. Why I'm talking about this is because they went back and looked at the footage, and they seen that it hadn't hit my foot. My feet just slipped down this, it was kind of like a water-like drain, and my tennis shoes slipped on it. I guess I had tennis shoes. I might have had, originally at first, I had steel-toe boots that I was using, and then they said you could use tennis shoes. But it was slick. And when it's that wet, that damp out, and you've been out there that long, it becomes dangerous. It's not like these, you guys, where you see Jose over here, and he goes to 7-Eleven, or he goes to what is like the dental place over there where they cut around real different small little green areas and then they're done. It's not like that. This is like a continuous mow, So the thing about this is the cameras showed it, and they got cameras all over the area. So everybody that's doing bad things, they need to be aware that they'll see what you guys are doing. If you're doing bad things, no doubt. So that's good. But getting back to the zoo thing, I never seen anybody talking about deal drug shipment. It's a whole new one here at Kansas City Zoo. So I'm going to show the car that jumped up on the basically the wall. It's hanging on the wall there. I'll show all those line of school buses a mile long. I'll show this other guy. It's over by the shelter. It's got his truck up and working on it and stuff. Yeah, but it always seems like there's always something weird going on over that shelter. There's a lot of weird stuff here in Kansas City. So hold on, guys. Let me get it to it. Okay, guys. I'm about ready to leave the park. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here's that shelter here. There's always weird stuff going on at this shelter. But this is a vehicle. You see the hood's up on it. There's a jack or two up underneath this freaking thing. It's jacked up in there and stuff. And this black guy's leaning over. Kind of shady right here to see this. I don't know if I can get it in. I'm getting ready to turn up here, so. Let's see if I can bring this in any better. a little bit better. So you can see it's up on one side and stuff. I mean, I can't even imagine. See, another problem with this would be liability. So even if it was an employee and it's on there, of course this is in the park, but if they're allowing their employee to be there, what if this thing fell on the guy? You know, say he got crushed underneath the thing. I mean, his family probably could sue him and say, well, you let him do it. But if you look over here, see if I can get it to focus in any better. It kind of looks a little blurry, but right here are two of the golf carts right here. So I don't know. I just thought that was weird. Very weird. Like I say, I worked a lot of different places in automotive and stuff, but they would not allow us to take our vehicles to where we were working and work on them. Yeah, if they did, they'd want to charge us, definitely. So let's go on from there. We're going to pull on out. We're going to go on up here. Boy, Zoo's doing a good business. Oh yeah, hold on. There's that guy right there. Let's do that one more time, because I didn't have it as good over one side. You can see it. Their little ball or whatever, they soccer balls they kick or whatever. At least they promote something decent, you know, for their employees. Go have some fun. That's good. You know, it's good to see some place like that actually tries to get people, you know, involved and stuff at their work, you know, when they're, you know, on lunch break or something. That's kind of cool. And you see all those school buses through there, okay? And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, here's this guy down in the Australia section talking about drug shipments and stuff like that. And why I notice this even more, he was up in the mulch area, kind of like down over there by like, what are those? Oh, God. Oh, I can't think of them right now. The ones those kind of like the Chinese deals, those ones where they have the big fat bellies. I can't think of the name of them. But, you know, all the kids run up and rub their bellies down there on that. I can't think right now what those are. But in that mulch area, he was standing, walking around in that mulch area. And he was talking about drug shipments coming in to Kansas City. Not good, guys. Not good. And he had his little gang little hat on. Oh, well, isn't that something? All right, so let's get on with this and get on down and see if we can go on down here a little ways, and we'll go on down. Might have to jump to the next clip, guys, here. And I'll show it from the back view, too. But this just caught my eye, too. But this house, whatever this is over here, it's kind of cool. If you guys ever look off to the right there, they got a whole bunch of solar panels over there. I don't know I don't know if that's the cities or something else, that building there, but that's wild. It's pretty cool looking. Now, other people, they were getting ready to play. I don't know about this guy. This vehicle, yeah, he might be playing something else. Like I say, there's golfers there. There's ones that play softball or baseball. But see, I think golfing's further on down here. That's another baseball field deal. Hold on, guys. All right, guys. I'm at that Y section when you're coming out of the zoo. And as you notice, there's Kansas City, Missouri vehicle over here. I thought, well, maybe they're patrolling it, you know, looking for maybe the people dumping all the trash. No, probably not. But I will show you what they were up there. So we're going to get down here. This over here in this right here area, I always want to put my cursor. Now there's some people that fish, okay? But there's some vehicles that sit here, they ain't fishing at all. They're doing other stuff. And not good. So here's another Kansas City, Missouri police vehicle. But you see this here. Now, how did that car get all the way over, jump that wall and end up in that wall like that. I'm turning around on this curve here. Because over here on this right side, I mean, if anything, you'd think if somebody lost control, they'd have been off in the lake, other than pond, other than that. But I don't know. You can see, boy, it hit. I mean, it hit. So hold on. Okay, guys. Now I'm coming out of the Y right here because the Ed was waiting. And we're going to just wait till we get up here. And you can see that car. It's high centered over that. Look at that. How it ended over there, I have no idea. That is funky. I don't know. Pretty strange, guys. Well, anyway, I wanted to get this out there, but I still can't get over all those little kids there. And that guy's down there now, section down there, talking about drug shipments. Interesting. Anyway, keep your eyes open and stay safe out there in Kansas City.